Bringing your feet underneath your hips, let's allow ourselves to find a nice standing posture to start off with. So allow the feet to be just underneath the hips so we've got a nice sturdy base. And maybe just starting by shifting the weight from one foot to the other as we start to zone into our body and how it's feeling today. Just shifting the weight gently from side to side, and then we'll allow ourselves to bring our weight right into the centre of the 2 feet. And then we can allow some weight to tip over the front of the foot and tipping some weight into the back of the foot, taking it through those 2 extremes and finding that place where the weight's right in the centre, the 2 feet. Now when we find that place, let's draw up through the arches of the feet. So we may find a sense of connection through the core, and if that happens, that's marvellous. But for now, just think about the arches of the feet gently drawing up, and the sense that you want to draw the arches of the feet up into the inside of the leg. If that makes sense. So we'll allow ourselves from there to feel as though we're not tensing through the knees. There's just a sense of softness, a sense that we're not locking into the kneecaps. And we'll allow ourselves to bring our awareness into our pelvis. So let's allow the pelvis to gently tip forwards and gently tip back. And we'll just take it through those 2 extremes. And then we'll find that place where it feels as though our bucket of water is nice and level, not tipping out the front or out the back. And when we find that place, we've got the tailbone descending down towards the space between the heels, and we're allowing ourselves to lengthen up really nice and tall through the spine. So we feel as though we've got the tailbone descending down and the top of the head lengthening up, as if it were a helium-filled balloon floating for the sky. Let's allow ourselves to connect into those core muscles. So taking a deep breath, and we'll draw up through the pelvic floor, thinking from tailbone to pubic bone, we're drawing in and up. And we'll take that to a gentle squeeze. Now let's just take a moment to think about connecting pelvic floor and still breathing. So we'll allow the hands to come at the bottom of the rib cage. And let's allow our breath to flow in and out of the ribs there. So with each breath, we're seeing if we can fill our rib cage all the way to the bottom. So we're not breathing up high, but we're allowing that to really come nice and low. And hopefully we can start to find a sense of release through the collarbones as we develop that breath. And then we'll allow the arms to release down by our sides. Let's take some little shoulder rolls. And just one more. Let those shoulders ease towards one another and sink down towards the tailbone, with that sense of connection drawing up from the tailbone with the muscles inside the pelvis. Taking a breath and allow the right arm to float forwards and up. Breathing in as that arm floats back down, change over to the other side. And again, the arm floats on up. So you're like a toy soldier as the arms change from one to the other, floating in front of you. Looking to keep those shoulders gliding down the back, and we'll see if we can keep the rib cage nice and stable. And the right arm's going to float up towards the space above us, and then the right arm keeps reaching, we extend up and over. And then coming back through the centre, switching the arms over. And we extend up and over. Feel that the opposite fingertips can extend down. And again, changing over. Extending up and over. Checking that we've got our weight staying in both feet evenly. And extending up and away. Coming into the centre, draw the hands in towards one another, and we'll just take a little rotation through the rib cage. Pelvis stays nice and stable and still. Breathing in as we return back to the centre, and then rotating around to the opposite side. So as we do that, we're keeping those hips really nice and still. Nice and smooth with the breath. Finishing up on that second side. And just allow the arms to release. Let the head release, and we'll start to take a little roll down through the spine. So we're looking to find that sense of mobility through each and every vertebrae. Take a nice deep breath at the bottom, and then breathing out as you roll back up through the spine. Let the head be really heavy. So it's the last thing to come on top. When we get there, we lift the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and down. Both arms float forwards and up. Breathing in as the arms float back down. And again, release through the top of the head, rolling through the spine. Coming down bit by bit, piece by piece. Nice deep breath there. Breathing out as we roll up through the spine. Head comes on top, we lift the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and down. Both arms float forwards and up. Breathing in as the arms float back down, we'll soften through the knees, let the arms go wide. And lengthening the legs, and again rolling through the spine. Take a little bend of the knees when you get there, so come into a little crouch position. And then again, bottom lifts up high. Let the head be heavy and roll up through the spine. So sometimes I find it good to give it a little shake out at the bottom, just to check that I'm not holding any tension through the neck. And floating the arms down, soften through the knees, keeping the torso nice and long, tailbone descends down. Now keep the arms lengthened and coming up and over like an aeroplane. Breathing in as you come through the centre, and then over to the opposite side. And again, as we come into the centre, we'll release through the top of the head, rolling down through the spine bit by bit. Nice deep breath, nice deep bend through the knees, and gently stretch the legs away. Rolling up through the spine. Head comes on top, we'll lift the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and down, both arms float forwards and up. Now from there, let's pull the elbows down, and we'll take a little rotation. Rib cage rotates around to the right side. Breathing in as we return back to the centre and rotating around to the other side. Breath in as we return back to the centre, release the arms and bend through the knees. Like an aeroplane, up and over to the right side. Long through the legs without looking through the knee. Coming into the centre and releasing, rolling through the spine. Bending the knees plenty. And lengthening the legs, rolling through the spine. Head comes on top, lifting the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and down, both arms float forwards and up. And again, let the elbows go wide. And ribcage rotates around. Breathing in as we come back to the centre, rotating gently round. Breath in as we return back to the centre, then cutting the space with your hands as if you've got a tray in each hand. Shoulders glide towards one another as we open out through the arms. And again, gently opening out. Just taking one more from here, and then we'll allow the right arm to circle around and above the head. But keeping whatever you've got balanced on your right hand, nicely balanced. And other side. Once more on each side. Really getting that nice range of movement through the shoulder. And then from there, the right hand's going to go high, left arm's going to go low, and we cut the space with our thumbs. Drawing the arm in, changing over to the opposite side. Once again, nice bit of openness through the chest. And releasing from there, take that little bend of the knees, lifting up and over to the right side. And as we come into the centre, let's release through the top of the head, rolling down through the spine, softening through the vertebrae. If you want to, just take a little transference of the weight coming forwards And then transferring back, and we'll roll up through the spine. So just starting to really get into the ankles there, into the feet, into the knees. Shoulders rolling back and down, both arms slope forwards and up. Let the elbows bend down. Rib cage gently rotates around. Breathing in as we return back to the center, coming back to the other side. Now this time, we're going to come into the center, we're going to cut the space, we're going to allow the right leg to lift. And allow the knee to open out to the side as the arm opens out. Coming back to the center, hold it for me there, right hand circles around the head. Coming back to the center. And then we'll stretch the leg away as we allow the arm to open out to the side. Draw everything back in. Take a little rise. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Left leg lifts. Knee opens out to the side. And come back in, hold it there, left arm circles around. And drawing back in. Cut the space with your thumbs as you lengthen the leg away. And drawing back in, taking that rise. Lowering the heels, bend through the knees, taking that aeroplane from you once again, up and over. Good, and release it. Last time through, rolling through the spine. This time, walking the hands forwards, finding a nice plank position. You can hold it for me there. Press into the heels. Let there be a long line from your head to your tail to your heels. Strengthening up through the core. Little shift forwards, push back in the heel. Little shift forwards, push back in the heel. Walk the hands in. And we'll gently roll up through the spine. Head is really heavy as we gently bring ourselves back up. As the head comes on top, we lift the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and down, both arms slope forwards and up. And the elbows pull down, rib cage rotates around. Breathing in as we return back to the center, rotating around to the opposite side. As we come back to the center, cutting that space with the hands. Lifting the right knee. Knee opens out to the side. Coming into the center, she says, wobbling. Allow that right arm to circle around. Now, if you're feeling clever, you can stretch the leg in front of you. And drawing back. Extend the leg out and away. And this time, just take a little lunge down into that space. And catch. Bring the leg back in. And take the rise. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Lifting the knee. Knee opens out to the side. Drawing the leg back in. Extend the leg away as you circle the arm if you want to, or just keep the leg nice and still. Stretch the leg away, cutting the space. You're going to transfer the weight. Suspend, give it a little throw and catch. And draw back in, taking that rise. And from there, bending through the knees. Like an aeroplane, up and over. And then rolling down through the spine, softening at the knees. And we'll bring ourselves onto hands and knees from there.